Hi everyone, so today we're going to look at a peephole card, and it's a fairly simple card but really attractive, and it has 4 turn back panels with a section in the middle which is recessed and you can put anything inside it. Okay, so there is one sample. Here is another one which has been done with contrast turnbacks, and the recess here has got some musical notes and instruments and a piece of music. Okay, so let's have a look what we need. Just pop those up there if I can. So first thing we're going to do is have a base card which is 6-inch square or 15 centimeters. Okay. Then we need a metallic mat, which is 14.5 by 14.5 centimeters. Conversion imperial measurements will always be up in the top left-hand corner. But there's my metallic mat. Then we need what I call the support card. This is going to make the turnbacks that are on here and support the whole card. Okay, we've also got 14 centimeter square piece of backing paper, so that's exactly the same size, and that's going to do our background. I need a piece of card or paper that is over 5 centimeters square, so that is going to go inside behind this aperture, and I have a 5 centimeter square, which is going to be my contrast turnbacks, and we're going to cut this into 2 diagonals so I get 4 pieces. And I've just got some scrap metallic for matting and layering. So I then have, this is going to be my decoration inside, and I will probably leave the larger one and just concentrate on using the 2 smaller pieces to go in the hole. So let's have a look how we do it. We start off first, we can put this to one side because that's our base card and comes right in at the end. The mat and layer is towards the end. So we're going to start with the support card. So I'm going to take my scoreboard and put it there. I'm going to measure on the back of my support card. So I'm going to do this side, 4.5 centimeters and 9.5. Okay. So all the way around, 4.5, 9.5, 4.5, 9.5, 4.5, 9.5, and I want to join all those lines across. Okay, this piece is going to be covered by the backing paper, so it doesn't matter I've written on the back. That's for your benefit. So there are our lines. Now that gives us, this is a 5 centimeter square. Okay. So I'm going to bring my scoreboard in, and I only want to score between those lines, those tram lines. So I'm going to score down from this top line to the next line. Turn it round. I know it was 4.5. So going along there. Right, next one. and the last one there. So if you can see, I have scored all the way around there. So put that away for now. I'm going to turn it round. You might be able to see the score lines easier on this side. So I'm now going to take my craft knife and I'm going to cut the diagonals. Now, it's very easy to cut past the score lines. So I like to take my knife and just go across the score line just on the corner. We want to make sure that we've cut across the score line as well. So now I can come in and cut across, and the next one when you get to the corner you can actually feel it give, so you don't go too far. Now I now have 4 pieces, and I'm just going to go all the way around. Somebody's been at my box and moved a lot of my equipment. There we go. So we have all these bits turned back. Let's just open that one a fraction. That's better. So there are my 4 turnbacks. Now we want to take this backing paper and we want to trim the backing paper so it will go over the top of this. Right, so I'm going to turn it over onto the back and I'm going to do exactly the same measurements. 4.5, 9.5, 4.5, 9.5, all the way round. And I'm going to do my pencil lines again. Okay. 4.5. There we go. Right. Now I'm coming back with my craft knife, and that is exactly the same size as this. So I want to cut on the outside of that line. So I'm going to go down. I want a tiny bit of give. I can always go back and trim a bit more. So let's see how this fits. Pop the little triangles through. And that is a tiny little bit tight. So I can just go back and just trim a tiny bit all the way around. You don't want it fitting very tight. Right, all the edges will be covered, so you don't have to be too particular. There we go. So I've just taken a smidgen around, place that over the top, pull all the little pieces, and that is fitting beautifully. Okay, so I'm going to fold those back and I'm going to take some wet glue, and I'm just going to stick this down. Right, wet glue gives me a little bit of wiggle room. There we go. A little bit there to come off. Right, so I line it up because these were exactly the same size, and then open out. Now I want to stick these pieces down. Okay, and for that I'm going to use some sticky dots. So I have some little sticky dots here. So if I place one behind each little flap, that will hold those down secure. You can use sticky fixers if you want to, which will raise them up a fraction. There we go. Right, now we've got our 5 centimetre piece here, which we want to cut diagonally twice. So it's up to you whether you want to do it with a knife or I can do it on my trimmer, or you can use scissors, but I would suggest you rule a line first if you're doing it with scissors. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 little triangles. Okay, right, we're going to take that and I'm going to fit them onto my waist piece here. I like to show different forms of glue being used, just to encourage you that whatever you've got, use that. Don't go and buy a lot of fancy things that you don't need. Okay. Right, I've got that positioned on there, and I'm going to take my fancy scissors, the old faithful scallops, and I'm just going to cut around, putting the scallops against the triangle. So there's one. Two. Three. There we go. So move to one side. Right, I'm now going to fit these on so that they're on each of those triangles. They will just overlap, so keep this straight edge straight on the opening. It is wet glue, so you have got time to adjust it. It's already looking pretty. Last one goes in, and now we can just make sure that all the side pieces are in right place. Right, here's my other piece, which I said was over 5 centimeters square. So all I want to do with that is place a little bit of wet glue around the edge and place that on, which will fill in our aperture. Okay. Right, so I'm now going to pop that onto my mat with a tiny little border all the way round. Make sure that is nice and level, and onto my base card. Okay, so we get a tiny white border all the way round. Just slide it into position. Right, now I've got these pieces of decoupage. So I was thinking of leaving this one. Yeah, it's a little bit too big. So I can use that on another card. So I'm going to take this smaller piece and I'm going to place it in, but I usually like to break some of the lines. So I'm just going to tuck that underneath so it's nice and firm, and I want this to cascade over there. Right, I'm then going to take some sticky fixers and apply sticky fixers. If you're going to cut sticky fixers, always cut them while they're on the protective piece, and then you don't get your scissors all gummed up. So there we have sticky fixers. And that's going to add a bit of dimension to my card. Now, the only thing that I think I'm going to do with that is add my silver corners. Right, so here are my sticky corners. I peel off corners. I don't want anything that is too big, so nothing like these big ones. And simply take it in your tweezers and leave a tiny border of green all the way round. Okay, using your tweezers, you know that your fingers are going to be out the way. You can see the whole lot is positioned right, and it's easy to get your tweezers off them without pulling the design. Okay, here's the last one. So there is our beautiful peephole card. This I will use for another day. And if we look back at this one had contrast turnbacks. And this one, I've used the same backing paper. So the square that I took out of that, I have just cut into 4 and added some gold to back it. So there is no need to waste that bit that comes out the middle. Okay, so happy crafting. Do have fun, and God bless you all.